Hey, what's up? Welcome back to I Love Wrestling episode 3. I'd like to thank you all for tuning back in. There's a question that was asked to me on my email that I feel like it needs to be addressed. Someone asked me, do I think that the WWE needs to start acknowledging Chris Benoit again? And I thought about that for a second. It's one of those situations that has your pros, and it's one of those situations that have your cons. You know what I mean? On one hand, you got a man who murdered his wife, his son, and then murdered himself in a weekend span. On the other hand, you have a man that was, by far one of the best in-ring technicians. And if you ask some people, may have been one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. So, how can you balance that out? So, I thought about it for a minute, and, I really contemplated it. And this is what I came up with. I think that the WWE needs to allow Chris Benoit to come back into the fold. And not because I feel that enough time has passed. I mean, because, if you lose a loved one, and what he did was, downright despicable. But not because, for selfish reasons, but because I feel like he's a part of history, and you can't knock that. I mean, you cannot knock it. The guy's a Royal Rumble winner. He's a World Heavyweight Champion. I mean, he was a United States champion. He was a part of history, and it's like blotting him out is like blotting out history. You can't do it. I mean, think about it. You can't make a Randy Orton DVD without putting Chris Benoit on it. And you know why? Because the first WWE Championship that Randy Orton won was the World Heavyweight Championship against Chris Benoit at SummerSlam. Okay, the WWE brought their own United States Championship to the WWE, I think in 2003, if I'm not mistaken. When they had the final match, the final two were Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit also won the Royal Rumble, like I said earlier. I mean, so it's blotting him out is like blotting out history. If you make a history of the WWE United States Championship DVD, how can you not put this match on there? I mean, he brought in the United States Championship to the WWE. How can you make a Randy Orton DVD? I mean, it's one of those situations where you can't. You can't stop it. I mean, you can't control it because it's like taking away the history of your company. So I feel they need to implement, him back into the fold. I feel like Chris Benoit was a great wrestler despite what he did, and I'm not condoning that on any stretch of the imagination. But the man is a part of history, and you can't stop history. I mean, even though you can ignore it, it still happened, and there's nothing much you can do about that. Another question I'm going to answer. A person asked me, did I feel that The Miz would be as big as he is today? And no, I didn't. In quick, fast, and a hurry, no, I did not. I didn't think The Miz was going to be as huge as he was, or as he is today. I mean, when you think about it, who did? I mean, I can ask somebody right now, about show of hands, how many people thought The Miz was going to be Mr. Money in the Bank, or United States Champion, or better yet, who thought The Miz would even be in the WWE after they broke up Miz and Morrison, stable. So it's one of those things where it's a shock to you. You couldn't believe it, and you wonder why. I mean, but I see why. Well, you see why now. I mean, we can't take it away from The Miz. Is one of the most hardest working wrestlers in the WWE. Every time you see like them doing something outside of wrestling, you see The Miz right there. I mean, you got to look at NXT. You got to look at some of the stuff that he does. Inside of wrestling. You can't take that away from him. I mean, when you think back to me, Miz and Morrison, everybody probably thought that he was going to be the Marty Jannetty of the group. And, you know, John Morrison would have been, of course, the Shawn Michaels. But it seems like it switched roles. And, you know, the one thing, you know, at first I didn't like The Miz. But let me tell you why I like it. This is why I like The Miz. The Miz didn't take no for an answer. He didn't take no for an answer from us fans. And he didn't take no for an answer in the WWE. Now, when you make The Undertaker mad, The Undertaker is the biggest dog in the yard. When you make The Undertaker mad, there's only two things that are going to happen to you. You're going to be a jobber or you're going to be jobless. He couldn't even go into the locker room because of something that he did. But The Miz persevered. And look what he has today because he earned it. And you can't knock him for that. I mean, Mr. Money in the Bank United States Championship, winner, but he deserves it. I mean, he earned it. This just me, but he reminds me of a lot of a young Chris Jericho. I feel like, if he continues to grow and progress on the mic and also in the ring, I mean, he could be at least a 2 or 3 time WWE champion. Now, I mean, the sky's the limit for The Miz. I think that he has only tapped the surface of his potential. And honestly, he can be a great wrestler. He really can. His tag team partner Morrison, on the other hand, I feel like still is the diamond of the group. I just feel like The Miz is a little bit more polished than Morrison is as far as mic skills, and you know that in the WWE, it's more of a if you got mic skills, they'll push you. I mean, even if you're not a very good wrestler. John Cena. But that's all the time we have for today. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in. If you have any more questions for me, I want you to check out my email. My email, once again, TJAY loves wrestling at yahoo.com. Once again, that's TJAY loves wrestling at yahoo.com. So until next time, to episode 4, this your boy TJ signing out. Peace.